Hi guys, we're going to show you the back to wall shoulder flexion, which is an exercise that I've shown quite a bit in the past. It also serves as an assessment, but today we're actually going to talk about some of the coaching cues that we use to improve a back to wall shoulder flexion when somebody is struggling. And what I think is really important is that you treat it like just about any other exercise. And what I mean by that is your coaching cues are going to be heavily dependent on how someone starts. So what their posture is when they begin. If you're coaching a push-up and they start in a really lordotic or extended position, we know we need to get the ribs locked to the pelvis a little bit and get them into some more posterior tilt to clean up a better push-up pattern. By that same token, if someone starts in a bad scapular position and we try to do a back to wall shoulder flexion, they'll effectively be blocked off by muscular stiffness or alignment issues. So there are a few different things that can cause these limitations, and we'll show you the different presentations as we start. So I'm actually going to have Greg start with his back facing towards the camera here. Okay? The three things that I look heavily for are, first, is it an adducted posture? Meaning, does someone sit back in almost a military presentation where the shoulder blades sit too close to the spine? If that's the case, we know we need to get a little bit more serratus and anterior recruitment to try to get the shoulder blades to kind of wrap around. Second thing that we'll really look for is if someone really is anteriorly tilted. Do the shoulder blades kind of roll forward? Is there a really prominent inferior medial border? If that's the case, we need to get some more lower traps, get a little bit of posterior tilt, which kind of clears some space in the front as we take our arms overhead. The third thing we really look for is there heavy scapular depression, meaning is he really lat dominant? Is the entire shoulder girdle pulled down? What you'll commonly see in a lifting population is people have a big strength training background, and you realize even though Greg has some pretty good sized traps, as he pulls down into scapular depression, you see this crazy downslope of the shoulder, and they actually disappear because he's so low. So we might need to turn those lats off as we get up overhead. So if we spin him around, let's show back to wall shoulder flexion. You'll see he starts about 6 to 8 inches away from the wall. Low back nice and flat, good double chin. And we're going to have him claw all the way up and touch the wall with his thumbs here. Okay, and then we'll come on back down. So let's say just by, for whatever reason he was limited, he was right about here. So if he's that really military posture, really adducted, the cue I'm actually going to give him is I want him to think about making a bigger arc. I want him to actually reach out and go out and get my hands out in front as he comes up over. So we want to really turn that serratus on, get up, draw a big circle, and then get to the wall. Okay, so you'll see folks that'll improve there. If he's really tipped forward, what I want to see is at the start just a little bit of a roll back to kind of clear some space in the front. So we'll gently help to guide him there. This is one where it's probably a good kinesthetic awareness cue, meaning you're actually going to manually kind of put him in that position to free some space up in the front. If he's really tilted forward, that'll block the ability of the scapula to posteriorly tilt and get a clean overhead pattern. The last one, if he's really down here, first off, we'll kind of bring him to a little bit more of a neutral posture at the start, but probably more significantly, as he raises his arms up, right when we get to about shoulder height, I'm going to have him give me just a gentle shrug. Okay, and I don't want this to be an aggressive pull right as he gets to shoulder height. I want it to be a gradual inclusion where everything kind of slowly comes up together. Okay, this is a perfect example of why don't just look at front to back shoulder balance, also appreciate top to bottom balance. Your upper traps can actually be really over lengthened and really be fighting against your lats to allow you up overhead. So if you're too far back, reach out, get some serratus. If you're too tilted forward, get some posterior tilt to clean some room in the front. And if you're too heavily depressed, get those shoulder blades up a little bit with a tiny shrug, and it'll get you where you need to be.